You saw the title, the thumbnail, the weapon I'm talking about. I'm covering a weapon from Mega Man X7. As someone who actually comes back to this game, I have a lot of things to say about it, but let me explain how we got here in the first place. For the Google form I have for this series, link in the description, what is the worst weapon in the Mega Man X series? As of writing and editing, Moving Wheel has 5 responses, 4.5 if you care about someone being set on it. This doesn't sound like much, but this category has the least responses in it, only 27 in total, so 5 is about 19 of all responses in it. It's the highest number here, with some weapons tied for second place at 2 responses. This video will have the point of view, and as such, everything I bring up and mention will be from X7's US English version, in hard mode as a cherry on top. Footage was done on normal for my sanity's sake, and yes, I know more damage is done on the other versions, like UK English and Japan, so if the changes are big enough to warrant anything, let me know and I'll pin it in the comments. Anyways, let's get right into the question. Is the moving wheel really that bad? There wouldn't be a need to explain how to get it, even for the charged version, but it's X7, so go figure. Beat Rydborski for the weapon, and go to Flame Heinar's stage for the arm parts as X. Speaking of X, you either have to rescue 64 Reploids, so you're playing at least 5 stages, 4 if you do it perfectly, or beat all 8 Mavericks, and he'll be unlocked automatically. The moving wheel itself has 8 uses without ammo upgrades, for both the normal and charged versions, taking up free weapon ammo per use. The normal version releases a spiked wheel that travels along the surface, and through enemies it hits. Only one moving wheel can be on screen at a time this way. The charged version fires 3 wheels at once. One acts normally, while the other 2 will bounce in a high arc, being able to cover any air enemies in the way, and they explode when they disappear. In 2D, the wheel can be used as a moderate-sized ground crawler, helping cover enemies below you from a safe distance, with the charged version being able to hit enemies in the air, and help deal with tankier enemies. Combine this with the Buster and you can deal decent damage, for X7 standards anyway. In 3D, nothing changes, but the moving wheels are pretty thin, and only go in front of where you shot, so if you have to attack in a 3D section that isn't a straight line, this weapon can be pretty bad there. Unfortunately, the moving wheel's damage isn't great, only being serviceable against the weakest enemies, all the wheels of the charged version hitting an enemy, or with the Buster as support. As this weapon is affected by terrain, there would be a stages section, but its performance is just this. It's fine enough in 2D stages and sections, and its actual usage is dependent on how many enemies are on the ground. And it's better in 3D stages and sections, especially more open ones, and even if it's fine, its limited ammo usage makes it rarely used anyway, especially with the damage output being very dependent on several factors. Now let's move on to the enemies and bosses. There's not much to say here, but still. As mentioned earlier, it's not great with enemies. It's best when several moving wheels from the charged version hit an enemy at once, but even then they're not good. Individually, they do 1 more damage than a Buster Shot, even when charged, so they can work on the weaker enemies, but anything stronger will either need a bunch of them to hit or support, and since the ammo is so limited, and you can only have 4 moving wheels on screen max, it doesn't benefit much from spamming. So against them, it has some niche cases of being okay, but overall isn't good. Against mini bosses, it's overall pretty bad. A lot of them are too far away for the moving wheels to hit them easily, or they can move away from them easily. It's only good against the middle Dragon Blaster and Splash Warfly stage, and the Dragon Blasters and Flame Heinard stage. That's it, being 1 out of 6 considered sub-bosses on the Mega Man knowledge base, and even then, it takes 2 charged moving wheels to kill 1, so a bunch of ammo still being used regardless. It also doesn't help that the moving wheels are really small. Now for bosses, dear god. Again, they do 1 more damage to bosses than an uncharged shot, but considering the high health all bosses have, it's very hard to use the moving wheel. It does 2 damage to every boss in the game, regardless of which version you're using against them, other than Snipe Anteater and Mole Borer, taking 3 and 4 damage respectively from the explosion of the charged version, which is really hard to hit them with. For Snipe Anteater, the moving wheel doesn't even do more damage to him than the other bosses. It just stuns him, which would be fine if it had a bunch of ammo, but since it only has 8 uses, the moving wheel can't even solo the boss weak to it, which is a somewhat consistent trend among boss weaknesses in X7. While its damage is consistent against the bosses, and none of them are immune to it, its damage output being so low makes it pointless to use against them, even Snipe Anteater, as other weapons are better against him in the damage department, like Splash Laser, Volt Tornado, and his own weapon, for example. So overall, the moving wheel is pretty bad in all 3 categories, mostly due to its ammo count and low damage, making killing even the smaller enemies take some time. I probably don't need to answer it by now, but is the moving wheel really that bad? Yeah, it is. While I'm not sure if it's the absolute worst, X7 and X8 have some very good competition for that title. It's absolutely up there within the top 10 worst for me. As for my next video, I'm not sure to be honest. The models tier list video is still in production, and I'm not making the Gravity Circuit boss ranking until the month after the next video, so you'll have to see. It might be one of those two, or something else entirely, like working on the special weapons video for that month, but we'll see. I'll give you an update within a week. Anyways, I hope you all have a good day, and see you next video.